It's time now for an in-depth look at the global markets this afternoon, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, global strategist at Yuanta Securities. Mr. Yu, thank you as always for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me always.
Now, stocks on Wall Street closed a little lower to start the week because of worries about a spike in oil prices. Korean stocks today closing just about flat. What's happening there?
Sure. If you look at a lot of the economic numbers coming out from the U.S., most of the numbers are quite positive. That the retail trades rising by 0.4% in August. That is expectation of 0.2% versus 0.4%. So that's why people are quite optimistic about the overall economic growth rates. And also the U.S. consumer sentiment coming out, and it is beating the forecast, and it came out at 92, which was much higher than expectation of 89.8. So all these positive news was affecting positively to the equity market, but nevertheless, the concerns about the rate cut might not happen has affected negatively into the equity market. Also, the news of the oil price jumping by more than 14% has affected negatively to the global equity market. Dow and NASDAQ generally were down anywhere between 0.2 to 0.5%. Also, the G2, the Chinese market, has fallen quite significantly by 1% plus, as they are major importer of the oil as they're part of the energy. Other markets were generally flat to slightly declining due to the news of the oil price rise, and also the concern that on Wednesday, the U.S. may not cut the interest rate due to the better than expected economic numbers.
Well, of course, we've seen oil prices spike by the most in a decade after the Saudi Arabia attacks. Is this price hike going to continue, or is it a blip that'll be resolved sooner rather than later?
I believe that it will be a blip, that the overall global supply of crude should stabilize in the future. The oil price spiked, as you said, by more than 14.7% yesterday. Some at the initial surge was as high as 18%, which is a very significant amount. That has been one of the biggest spikes that you've seen since the January of 2009. However, though, if you look at the overall production capacity of the U.S. through the shale gas production, is the number one globally, and they can continue to pump more oil if the need is necessary. And if you look at the what Trump has said is that on Sunday they will use the strategic petroleum reserve, and also most of the other countries will be using that as well. And in terms of overall production capacity of Saudi Arabia, people were concerned that it might be cut by 50%, but I think that it should stabilize over the period of next several months. So I think that substitution can come in, and also the overall production by the global level should be fairly stable. So therefore, oil price, we think, though, it will be on a range trading rather than continue to go up in the future.
Got it. Well, the Korean government's taking this quite seriously, as are Korean businesses, since for oil we depend entirely on imports. What effect might this have on the economy, and what can we do about it?
Sure. If you think that the oil price is going to remain that above $60 and it continues to go up, and it continues to go up to $70, $80 that we've seen last several years, then that is negative news for the GDP growth rate. $60 per barrel could reduce the GDP by 0.2%. $70 per barrel could reduce by 0.6%, and $80 per barrel should reduce by 1 percentage point. So that's quite a significant amount. As you know, we do not produce any oils. We import everything. Now, that will have a negative impact on GNI as well as the consumption, and also impact on inflation should be very high. So, of course, if the oil price continues to go up, that is negative news for Korea in general. Now, how can you tackle that issue? That's very difficult. That's why Korea has been focusing on trying to do alternative energies, including solar energies, and so the energy production through the nuclear has been declining, so that's negative news. So all in all, we need to focus on alternative energies, but the level of the alternative energy generation is too small relative to other countries globally. So therefore, all impact it's negative, and if it remains to continue to go up in terms of the price, then the impact should be more of a long term. But as I said, I don't think the oil price will continue to go up in the future.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on that figure. Mr. Yu, thank you for your insights today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.